So, I think I want to build a windmill. In the very first episode of this series, I said how cool it would be to use the Create mod to build a working windmill. And it's episode 20 now. So I think it's about time we did that. But before we do, it's episode 20. I think a little recap, a little mini world tour is in order. I mean, we haven't done much. We haven't created a whole bunch, but let's have a little walk around the world and remember what we have made so far. So the first episode wasn't very long. I didn't think many people would watch it, and I definitely didn't think anyone would want to sit through anything more than about 10 minutes of my slow, gentle voice. But we spawned here next to this village, and I kind of laid out a very vague plan of my intentions for the world, which you guys all know pretty well by now, how I want to fill it with story and life, and yeah, we've been working on it. We've done some stuff. We're definitely heading towards that goal very slowly. But yeah, we're getting there. And I guess as a stranger in a new land, it made sense to set up this camp. Bunch of barrels, stack of logs, just get ourselves ready to start creating in this new world of ours. And that was it. That was episode 1. That was about all we did. But a lot of people have watched that. I guess because it's the first one, right? You want to start at the beginning. I'm still kind of proud of it. I'm glad I made it. I'm glad I've found the courage to just make a video, even a short one like that. Just get something made and put it out there and see if anyone's interested. And I guess you were. I guess you were. But yeah, then we made the house. I do love this place. I'm glad that we built it like right at the very beginning, because it feels like it's always been here. You know, this is home. When I log into the world, this is home. This is where all my stuff is. This is my main smelter for when I need to cook things in our little home forge at the back of the house. Yeah, this is home, guys. And it kind of always has been. I think it'd be weird when we eventually go to a new area and I'll have to build a new home or a new base. But this one will always be here. This is the original house. The original home we built. And it's just full of barrels. It's not overly decorated. It's just storage for everything I need. And I kind of like to keep it all pretty organized. You know, there's like a barrel or a chest for most items. But yeah, this is how I like to store items these days. Back when I first started playing, when I was more of a redstoner, I would have built a huge automatic storage system straight away. You know, that's the important thing you need. But no anymore. I just like this cozier style, you know. And this cozy bedroom is probably one of my favorite things about this house. Even though we've got the comforts mod and I can just use the sleeping bag wherever we are. There's a few diamonds. Not many. Yeah, I don't need to ever come back here, but I just like coming home and sleeping in my own bed. But yeah, that's the house. That was episode 2. And after that, I didn't really know what I wanted to build. I just wanted to kind of get more of a feel for the style of this place, create more immersion, add some trees, extend this path, just pay a bit more attention to landscaping and the environment. And it was in building these trees that I first started getting a sense of how much thought I want to put into this world. Like under this tree, I imagined that the leaves would fall and the soil would be rich here. Like this level of thought gone into everything. This is where it started to kick in. I'm in trouble. If I'm going to put this much thought into everything, I'm in trouble. But yeah, I love it, and I love that that's the direction I've gone in. Built a bridge, little bridge to connect over a small gully. And then this is a little bit of pointlessness that I absolutely love. It's serves no purpose except to be a point of interest along the road. And I think this was the beginning, the whisperings of lore, or history of this place. Somebody camped in this little crevice. We don't know how long ago. There's a bit of life. A bit of old life, a bit of history, historical life here, a bit of story. Yeah, and I think that's why I love it. It's unnecessary, but it's also vital. And I need to build more things like this, for sure. And we will. We'll come up with interesting things to build. Little points of interest that add story without saying too much. And then, yeah, at the end of that episode, we built this huge tree. My favorite grandfather oak. I love just sitting under this tree. I think I've opened quite a few episodes. Just sat on this bench under the tree. Rambling away. Sharing my thoughts. Yeah, it's really immersive. And that was kind of the point of that episode. Just create more immersion in the world. Both for you, but also for me, to get a sense of what I wanted from this place. Because I was still new to this too, I'd only just started playing in this world. I didn't really know where I was going with it. And I think that was the point of just not focusing on a big build, but small things, the small details, environmental, landscaping details, to feel a little bit more immersed. And then episode 4, we went on an adventure. The opening to that episode is probably my favorite thing I've ever recorded, and it's why I turned it into an ad. I think it worked. I think you guys must also like how cool of a clip it was, because that ad has brought a lot of you guys here. But yeah, it was just, it all came together perfectly, and I love that opening to episode 4. And then yeah, we went on an adventure to find the heart of the sea that we never found, and came back empty-handed, and then turned our sights to the village. I kind of laid down my thought process to you guys, talked about my intentions, and then cleared away the old Minecraft vanilla generated houses, ready to begin planning out this village. It's kind of strange imagining how it used to be. I'm so used to, even though there's only a few houses and we've still just got a bunch of foundations lying around that need building into houses. I'm just so used to it like this now. This is the village to me. It's strange to think back to when it was just vanilla world gen. That seems like so long ago. But yeah, I cleared out the old houses, ready to start work in episode 5, but episode 5 came around and I think it was just too daunting. I didn't know what I wanted from the village yet. So I just started working on the forest next to it. I just went back and quickly rewatched that to remember what I did in that episode. My voice is so quiet and slow. I mean, I know I'm pretty slow talker anyway, but yeah, I'm like basically asleep. I think maybe I was going a little bit too much into the relaxing vibe. I'd be putting people to sleep at that rate. But yeah, I started working on the forest, trying to make it feel a bit more realistic. The river that had generated with the Terraforged mod didn't really connect to anything. It just started from nowhere. So I think I needed that realism and connecting forest streams down to the river just to give it a source of just to give it a source so that it made sense to me. That felt important at the time. And also working on the forest was kind of just an extension of creating immersion. You know, I think when I don't know what to build, working on the landscape or the environment is my go-to option. You know, because creating a building or a large project, a large structure can be daunting. I think you want it to be perfect. You want it to look good. But yeah, when I don't quite know what to build, working on the landscape is it's always a good option for me. Just to put myself back into the world, and then hopefully that will inspire me, or I'll come back from that feeling a bit more refreshed, a bit more ready to tackle a big project like a building. And yeah, that was basically episode 5. And honestly, most of episode 6. I think I procrastinated for 2 straight episodes. I did manage to find the Heart of the Sea in episode 6, which I guess if you haven't seen that, you don't know why it was important, because I talked about it before, but then I haven't really mentioned it since. I just made a data pack where the Heart of the Sea worked like a magnet. So I get the benefits of modded having a magnet, but keeping it lore friendly. I think the Heart of the Sea is such a rare, obscure object that maybe it makes kind of makes sense. Maybe, I don't know. What even is the Heart of the Sea, right? I think it could be a magnet. Could have that magical power. Anyway, that was episode 5 and episode 6, and then finally in 7. We started work on the village, but only kind of. Not even the main center of the village. Just this little cottage out of the way in the forest. And I do love this. This is probably one of the cutest builds I have built. It's just so homely, so cozy. This little cottage vegetable garden with the pumpkins and the vines growing up the side, surrounded by enormous trees in this forest. It's kind of where I would love to live one day. Just out of the way, in a forest somewhere, in a small, humble little cottage. I'd love that. But yeah, this was kind of the first interior I ever did that I was genuinely quite proud of. For such a small space, there's a lot of detail here. I think just the basic elevation change, it adds a point of interest. Like, what is this? I don't even know what the point of that is, but it kind of cuts up the space and divides it into the different sections. Oh yeah, we still haven't explored Farmer's Delight and the cooking pot and making different foods. We will, I promise, we will do that at some point. I don't know when, but yeah, just there's definitely something homely about this cottage, and I tried to bring that into the bedroom as well. See, the dividing up the space, I think that's what I kind of realized. Even in a small space like this, dividing up the space is important. Wow, the view is quite different than when I first built this. It was just open green plains, and now we've got all that and more to come. But yeah, It's a cottagey bedroom. A little mushroom patch out this way, because the cottage is butted up against the forest, so it's dark enough to grow mushrooms, you know. And a little cellar, barrels and storage. It's humble. It's quaint and humble, and I think I was finally getting to grips with the style I wanted for this village. And this was my first experiment with the cozy cottagey style, and trying to imagine the people who might live here. You know, get into the mindset. Imagine someone washing their clothes in the stream. Just, you know, adding thought and story. Oh yeah, and the bridge. We also built the crumbly down. I don't think is a term, but let's say it's a crumbly down bridge. Even that, you know, a little bit of story. Like it was once new, but now it's old and damaged, and no one has bothered repairing it. And then we got the villagers. The first two villagers, Yorland and Tatsu. These guys were a nightmare, but that is one of my favorite episodes, because I realized I can have a bit more fun with this. Like, yeah, we have a theme, we have a vibe to this channel where it's very calm and relaxing, and you guys can just put me on in the background, or if you've been having a stressful time, just listen to some chill, easygoing, comfortable Minecraft. You know, that is kind of the main vibe of the channel, but we can also have fun with it. And this game is kind of ridiculous in some ways, like with these stupid villagers, secret geniuses. But these stupid villagers, they're infuriating, and I think as I was recording and realizing how infuriating I was getting, that was funny. That was funny to me, and yeah, I did actually really enjoy that. And then we planned out this village, laid some foundations, tried to get a sense of what it would look like. And did we build it? No. We left the village and went over and built this blast furnace. Now, I did genuine research when I was making this blast furnace episode, because I wanted it to feel real, and I wanted it to feel grounded in history. You know, the era that we're playing in right now, it's obviously not a modern era. I kind of see it as almost medieval, maybe a little bit further than actual medieval times, but yeah, it's clearly an historical time. So looking at an historical blast furnace and seeing how they work felt like the right thing to do in order to create something realistic, you know. And maybe that is me overthinking things again, but whatever. Like, I think this is probably one of the coolest things I've built, and it actually has function, and I love that. I think I've strayed so far away from my original redstone roots that I'm happy for something to be completely inefficient if it fits in with the world and the story of what I'm trying to portray. You know, this is a kind of working blast furnace, and we've got the workshop next to it, and the story around that is more important to me than an efficiently working Minecraft farm, you know. I don't know if we'll ever have proper Minecraft farms. Like, farming in this game, I realized that anyone watching who isn't a Minecraft nerd like most of us thinks I'm talking about farming, like agricultural. But no, like mob farming or iron golem farming. We know what we're talking about. But yeah, I don't think that stuff kind of fits in this world, really. We've gone for a completely different style. So anything we do build is kind of needs to be rooted in immersion. Immersion first, I think. And this workshop is kind of all about that. It's it makes sense for this area, and it tells the story of the people who work around the blast furnace. And they'd need a workshop to supply them with the tools they would need. And honestly, I actually use it myself. This is where the Create mechanical press is set up, and I could just have this up at the house, but no, I like having to go to the different areas to perform different tasks in this world. It feels more real to me, even if that is a bit of a waste of time. But yeah, so we built the blast furnace, and then we built the workshop, and then did we start work on the village? No, I made a Halloween special. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I guess nothing of actual value to the world happened in that. It was all just creepy effects and tension building. One of you guys commented, what was the point? What was the story? What actually happened? I guess nothing. Pretty much, it was literally just tension building. Yeah, but I had fun with it. I think a few of you guys enjoyed my Halloween special. It was a completely different style of video for me, and it was actually very fun to make. I don't want to fall victim to boring routines, but maybe every year I might make a creepy special. Why not? Mix it up a little bit. And then finally, after all that, after 11 episodes, I think finally episode 12, nope, it was episode 13, we started work on the main village and built 2 houses. So let's have a little look at these. Look at these guys. This is kind of where we finalized the style of what this particular village is going to look like. They're all going to be variations of each other when I do actually get around to building the rest of the buildings in this village. But like, yeah, even the inn over there, it's like a bigger version of these houses. There's a coherent style, and I do think that's quite important to a village. Unless the style is randomness, and each building is meant to look different, and that in itself is a style, But yeah, if you go on into this one, the interior of this one was pretty cool. I remember I built the exterior and then figure out how the inner space is all laid out and what goes where. That's kind of how I do it, because then you end up with unusual shapes and different looking interiors instead of them all just being basic square boxes. Build the exterior first and then figure out how to fit an interior into it, and you end up with far more interesting interiors, I find. And I think my interior skill is getting better. I'm pretty happy with my ability to make cozy interiors. I think maybe when it comes to larger builds, I guess we'll see how I handle that. Something a bit more grand. But for these guys, where it's just a cozy cottagey townhouse in this small village, yeah, this works. This fits. Everything's a bit crooked and pokey, a bit like the Weasley's burrow from Harry Potter. It's all just jumbled and cluttered, but it makes it feel welcoming and cozy. And yeah, I like this. And then I think because I finally started work on the village, I kind of stuck with it, and I wanted to bring more life and more different kinds of structures. And a workshop seemed like the ideal thing. It seemed like a pretty important point of the village, In a time when there was no IKEA and Amazon to get to get new furniture whenever you needed it, and things would break and someone would fix them, and it would be the carpenter, the guy in the workshop would serve to keep the village well mended. So yeah, I thought that would be an interesting thing to build instead of just another house. Like, obviously we will build other houses, because so far the population of this place is just those 2 houses. So we are definitely going to need a few more, but yeah, some more important buildings were also needed. So I built this workshop, and it's interesting. It has a bit of function with the table saw. We can put logs in, and they get chopped up with the create saw. But yeah, and now this is where I store all of our wood-based items. You know, because there are so many different wood types, and so many different wood items for each wood type. There's just a lot. So now they've got their own storage area. So if I need anything wood based, this is where I come. I come to the workshop. And yeah, I do like this place. I think it fits quite well. I think it was probably more vital than we realized living in this modern age of ours. So it makes sense for it to be in the very center of the village, I think. Anyway. And then, what did we do next? Oh yeah, the mine. So having built the blast furnace, it kind of inspired me to think about the production of things. Also because I started playing Anno 1800, which is another series I have running kind of on this channel. I mean, there's only 2 episodes, and I don't think you guys are that interested. But yeah, playing that inspired me to think about the production of an object. So iron would need all of the different things in order to produce iron. And that's actually a really good way for me to get a sense of what I need to build. Like right now in my head, I know that I still need to build the charcoal pit, and I need to build some kind of ore crushing piece of machinery. And then that's kind of the production chain for iron done, I think, unless I'm forgetting anything. I don't think so. Yeah, because with the mine, that's the iron ore production done. And this place is just an exterior. I haven't done any more to the actual mine inside. I have a bit of maybe an over the top idea for the mine that is a little too big right now for me, but I said I would keep you updated on how I've been doing with that, and there isn't much progress to report, but in my head it's going to be a little bit like the goblin mines from The Hobbit. Just huge cave structures with wooden bridges and minecart tracks running everywhere, as if it's an ancient mine, and people had been mining at this place for a long time. And now in this age that we're living in, this small little village also makes use of the mine, but at once in the past it was a much bigger endeavor. Anyway, I'm rambling about ideas for the future. I'm supposed to be doing a mini world tour. So we built the mine with this working crane that I made a tutorial for, if anybody is interested in that. And then we're getting closer to present day now. We built this wagon that we can take wherever, that I recently made use of in the Q&A long play. It's actually really handy. I use it all the time when I'm just mining off camera. Made this wagon, built the amazing tavern, which was only a few episodes ago now, and made this sign. And that's kind of it. That's the world tour. Well, I don't know, I kind of knew that we hadn't done that much, but listing it all off like that and running around the world just made me realize how in 20 episodes we really haven't done much at all. I've talked a lot about my plans and what I want from this series and how I want to create immersion and story, but I haven't done much. I haven't really created much of a world to explore yet. But, you know, that's okay. I mean, every description of every video in this series says slowly building a beautiful world, and that is exactly what I am doing. It's a slow process, you know. Creating a world like this is a slow process. Now, I know I said I wanted to build a windmill this episode, but I guess we're saving that for next episode, because I have rambled on far too long doing this world tour, which I just realized that most people who are new to the channel have probably just gone back and watched all the episodes anyway. So they know all this, right? You guys just saw all this. And yet I've decided to make a world tour, a mini world tour for episode 20. Don't worry, I'm not going to do these that often. I think the progress on this channel is quite slow. So, yeah, world tours should be a much rarer event than this, I think. But something I can show you from the last episode before the Q&A, the Nether episode, where I didn't really show you the build because it was more part of the story. It was the collector's ancient ruined basement that I built. I mean, I think this place looks amazing, but I didn't really show it off. It just served its purpose as a piece of storytelling. But yeah, making a rundown, ruined basement like this was fun. And I wanted a wall of potions, but obviously we didn't have potions because the whole point of the episode was going to the Nether to get potions to save Tatsu. So these are milk bottles and water bottles and one potion of healing that I managed to get from a witch. A witch dropped one, so yeah, I had that lying around. Yeah, this place is something you kind of only briefly saw, so hopefully this is an interesting look, like a behind-the-scenes look, I guess. But that's pretty much it, guys. That's about all we've made in this series so far. I've got big plans coming up. It's just finding the time to get them all made. You know, unfortunately, we are still at the beginning of this YouTube journey, and real life. I still have to do real life. Regrettably, I can't just play Minecraft every day. I wish. Maybe one day. But yeah, I've got big plans for this series, and I hope you guys stick around as we fill this world with a ton more life and story, and create. I want to create the most immersive Minecraft world you've ever seen. I don't know. Maybe that's a bit of a reach, but I'm gonna reach for it. I don't care. I love this. I love doing this, and I'm gonna reach for that goal. Now, before I go, obviously there is something I like and want to share with you. Now, I was doing a little bit of research into home bookbinding for a very distant project that I may or may not ever end up turning into a real video for the second channel that I haven't even made yet. Yeah, I was just researching that to see if it was even possible, and I found this really cute, calming, insightful video where this really sweet guy just shows us the process of how to bind a book. And yeah, I just thought it was a lovely video. The art of bookbinding itself is super interesting, I think. So there's that, but then I just also liked this guy's vibe and his kindness, you know. He's a bit of a Brooklyn hipster, but yeah, it was really sweet, and I really enjoyed this video. So I'm going to share that with you guys, and maybe it will open your eyes to the interesting art of bookbinding. Just another one of the nerdy things that fascinates me. And who knows, maybe one day I'll even make a video about bookbinding. I don't know. That's for the future. We'll see about that. That's all in the works. Anyway, guys, we didn't build a windmill. We didn't build a windmill at all, but we will. That is exactly what I'm going to do after I finish editing this video. I'm going to get back into this world and actually do something. For the past two episodes, the past two videos, it's been just me talking. That long Q&A video and now this world tour, and I think I need to shut up and actually build something amazing. So I'm going to get to doing that, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was interesting and not a waste of time. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Take care.